Hi girls and guys, it's Mr. Tracky and we're on the right track. Welcome to my Black Ops 4 Specialist Guide series. In today's series we are going to take a closer look at Nomad, and the aim of this series is basically, once I get a clearer picture how to use a specialist, everything I learn I'm going to pass on onto you guys, so the learning curve is a lot shorter for you. Now, one of my favorite specialists, and the reason we're going to cover him first, is Nomad, for several different reasons. He has mesh mines which can be really effective to close off certain choke points in the map. And also he has Juno, which is a attack dog which you can set to patrol mode, or you can set to follow you around the map. Now, the first and most effective thing that he can do is obviously his mesh mines. Now, these do charge quite quickly, so you will get quite a few in each individual game. Now, your first initial charge of your mesh mine will take around 35 seconds, and it will take 70 seconds thereafter that. If you are using this piece of equipment, which you probably aren't because a lot of people tend to be using body armor and a stim shot, then it will reduce your charge times for your dog and your mesh mines by quite a mighty 30%. So it will lower these times by 30%. So if you are someone that wants to kind of spam these across the map, then this is definitely something that you would like to use, the equipment charge piece of gear. One of the main things that I want to convey in this video is placement of your mines, great placement of your mines. Now, I see a lot of people do the obvious and use these like the old school claymores, where they will put them on doors. Now, the one problem we do have in this game is Engineer is going to obviously highlight these. I have noticed one thing though, it does seem to me through testing that flat jacket doesn't seem to actually work against these mesh mines. So if somebody hits them, you're pretty much guaranteed a kill, which is great to know for people who are playing modes like a hardpoint where people have to run in to the hardpoint. Nomad is going to be definitely used and abused in that regard. There's a double kill there with my mesh mines, just to show you how powerful they can be if you place them in the correct area. So let's move on into the actual placement of these mines, and I'll show you some tactics which should definitely improve your kill ratio on this game. So in terms of placement, the most common thing you'll probably see is something like this, which is still very effective, but with the right type of players, they will start to work this out, and what they will do is angle themselves at the door and literally shoot out just one of these, and it will be null and void across the door. However, the mesh mine that still exists still can kill someone who's in close proximity. This is how I go about placing my mines. It's a lot more intelligent. It will take some getting used to because you need to work out places in the map, but I'm slowing this down so you can see. So we've popped one on that barrier and one on the door, and now you will see that we have actually cut off the door, but we have also cut off the alleyway besides the door. So you're getting much more usage out of your mesh mines instead of just narrowing it down to a particular door. So now we have covered two routes that possibly can be used by enemies, and they are going to be unsuspecting because it's quite difficult to see that line over that grey, and it's very low placement, not in the line of sight, it's at ankle level, so it's going to be even harder to spot. So when somebody comes rushing around this corner, they are very likely to run straight through that with no inclination that they're about to die. Now, the good things about these mesh mines is that they will not perish if you die, so you can do stuff like this. If yours are still there, then you can actually set up like a laser beam Mission Impossible kind of thing going on, because they will actually connect to other ones to make like lattices to make it even hard. So look at this area now, we have two traps there and then a trap cutting off that door and this door here. So if you do die, I tend to place them in the same areas to get more coverage for unsuspecting enemies, which has been really effective for me. Now, this is what I would say is a typical placement for me. It's bang in the middle of the map, loads of traffic comes here, any unsuspecting victims that come from each direction will find it quite hard to see the mesh mines, unless again they are using the likes of engineer. And it's just a place where people tend to start rushing. Boom, he would have gone there if that was an enemy, because people normally head glitch on those boxes, so people are going to concentrate at that kind of vision point. They're not going to be looking lower to the floor, and this is why I tend to place these around the floor. So now we've covered the equipment, let's cover the specialist ability. And with Nomad, it's going to be Juno the Pitbull. Now Juno is probably one of my favorite additions to this game. We all wanted dogs in the terms of score streaks, which it obviously would have been such a great score streak if it was introduced into the game. I also wanted the VSAT, that would have just made this game unbelievable to me, but that is a whole nother topic. But in terms of the specialist ability, you actually will not gain this ability if you don't kill no one for an entire game. Yes, I was bored enough to check that for you guys, but it does take quite long to charge. On average, it will take around 3.5 to 4 minutes to gain this specialist ability, with a decent amount of kills, around 10 kills. Obviously, again, this is decreased by approximately 30% if you use the equipment charge. Now, in terms of using Juno, I see a lot of people earn him and just call him out. I earn him and call him out in areas like this where I am now, and I always set him to patrol mode. There's a reason for this. Now, you can have him follow, which is quite effective if you intend to play more defensively with Juno and you want to stay in a certain area and have someone, your dog, to cover your back. But for me, I put him on patrol in a certain area which is mainly a tight, close, compact space. Now, there's a reason for this. If you've ever been up against Juno, you know exactly how many bullets you need to put in that dog before that dog is gone. And most people that will kill Juno are people who are quite some distance away from the dog. So I like to call a dog and set the dog to patrol areas that are close combat, tight-knit places, because it's very hard for that person to land the shots on the dog before the dog attacks. All it takes is for that dog to bite once and you're out of here. And it's a nice 125 points. You'll see Juno just got me 3 kills there before he was ganged upon by a bunch of cowards. But very, very great use to use is set the dog to patrol in an area which is a choke point again. And if you set your dog by places where your mesh mines are as well, they make for a perfect combo in my opinion. So guys, this is my guide. Quick recap. Please remember that your mesh mines will take, for your initial charge, around 35 seconds to charge up, 70 seconds for a full charge once your first usage has depleted your supply. If you use the equipment charge, this will knock off around 30% off that charge time. And then obviously when you are charging up your specialist ability for the dog, this will charge a lot quicker every time you kill an individual. So it is an incentive for you to go out there and not just camp hoping to get your dog to get kills. Juno does sometimes amass nothing and gets killed off the bat, but a lot of the time if you place the dog effectively, you will amass a good amount of kills. I tend to save him in situations for when I am on a decent amount of kills and I'm just trying to get my kill streaks and I want to set back and take my time, and that's the perfect time for you guys to set back, play more defensively, and let Juno go out there and get you some kills just to get your score streaks, because they are pretty hard to come by in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So that pretty much wraps up the first in the series of specialist guides by Mr. Tracky. Guys, there are many buttons you could hit, but the like and subscribe button, I hope they tickle your fancy. And as always guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.